Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse and Measure. If you haven't done so yet, please hit the subscribe button down below over there. So we've been talking about inevitable melodies, melodies that just feel like they have to go where they go, and they just sound like something that's familiar, even though they might be brand new to us. We can kind of anticipate where they're going to go. The surprises delight us, and then they resolve into something that feels like returning home. That's what an inevitable melody. I want to talk today about a little bit about how the chords and the harmony help support that. So there are in traditional, what we call classical music, but it's really Western art music. Classical's kind of a specific period of European art music. There's the use of what are called cadences. And cadences just mean how a phrase ends. So the standard one, probably the most common one, is what's called an authentic cadence, which is just the 5 chord. So if I'm in the key of C, the 5 chord would be C, D, E, F, G, would be G. So at the end of a authentic cadence, you have the 5 going to the 1. That's a common one. So if you want your melody to sound inevitable, at the very end, you want the second to the last chord to be the 5 chord, and then the final chord to be the 1 chord, whatever key you're in. Doesn't matter. Now, that's even the case in minor. So they will make if the 1 chord is a minor, they will make the 5 chord major so that it can have that strong pull back to 1. So this authentic cadence even works in minor keys, going from the 5 to the 1. But the 5 is a major chord and the 1 is a minor. The other common harmonic progression is what's called the Plagal cadence, and you might know it as Amen. So that's another way of having, which is a little less strong of an inevitable ending. Doesn't have that same weight of 5 to 1, but it also has a very strong resolution. The 4 of the Plagal cadence really wants to go to the 1. So yeah, so Plagal cadence is the 4 chord going to the 1 chord. And what the Beatles did very often was they did 4, then 4 minor to 1. Making all our nowhere plans for nobody. So Plagal with a little minor added into there. And then, so these all give us the sense of inevitability. So at the end of our phrases, we can either go from 5 to 1 or 4 to 1. Sometimes, though, we want to have a surprise. And so the last cadence that I'll tell you about is called the Deceptive cadence. So you're playing along. There's the 5, and we feel like it wants to go to 1, but you do something different. You do some kind of surprise. So there I went to the 6 instead of the 1. So that's what's called a deceptive cadence, because the listener is definitely expecting when that 5 chord hits that you're going to go to 1, especially at the end of a phrase. We've been trained in it because 99% of all the songs we've ever heard our whole lives, the 5 goes to the 1. But in this case, because of our expectation, we are going to be surprised. So that's why it's called deceptive, because it deceives us. It tricks us into thinking that, oh, it's about to go to the 1. Nope, it's going to the 6. So once again, so here's 1 chord, 2 chord, 5 chord. Can even make it a dominant chord, a 7th chord, to really pull that it really wants to go to the 1, but I'm not giving you the 1, I'm giving you the 6. So that's a fun thing to do, to play with the listener's expectations with those cadences. So the harmony, the chords that you're using with your melodies can definitely support this feeling of inevitability and give the listener what they're expecting, especially at the end of a phrase, so that they know, okay, we're at the end of a section. This feels like, this feels like coming back home. Just like, when you watch a movie, you're expecting certain things to happen. at the end. And now, we don't always want to do that. We want to break convention at times and deceive our expectations for the listener and fool them, and then give them something that's a total surprise. So that's when you want to use the deceptive cadence. All right, well, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I wish you the best of luck with your melody and songwriting. Take care.